Hello again, welcome to Living and Active. I realize it has been some time since I've done a Zero Dork 30 video, so here we are. So, in case you don't recognize this particular dulcimer in front of me, this would be Linden Sweet, brother to the twin sisters, not really twin sisters, brother to the sisters Sweet, Lydia and Lillian. You'll recall from other videos, I actually received this dulcimer. This is 1976 build by someone known only as Young. I don't know if you can read that or not. I'm also experimenting with the acoustics in this room. My first time trying to record a video in this room without any sort of microphone added in, so let's see how that goes. But the progress on this project, and it is turning into a project because why wouldn't it, is the first thing that you'll notice is that there's a lot deeper color on the wood itself, and there's a high contrast between the top and the insides of these soundhole cutouts. I did that on purpose. I love the way this looks. This is a spray-on teak oil treatment that has been drying and curing for a couple days, and now I think it's ready to be handled. So I had said either in the posts, oh, by the way, you can see how the teak oil really brought out the wood burnt butterflies, which are upside down by your view. And in case you didn't catch it on the video, anyway, one thing at a time. So in one of the, either a post in the posts tab or in a very short video that I did about this, I don't know if I've done any videos on this yet. Anyway, somewhere on this channel, I made mention that after I got it, because I want to kit it out to be a baritone dulcimer, because I don't have one of those yet, hence the male name instead of the female name, I had noticed that one of the things I was going to have to do is get a bridge for it, because previously, let's give you the tour here. Previously, if you can see that right here, where is it? I can't see what's going on because of light. Anyway, right here, if you can see it, there's these 4 little holes, and those 4 little holes were where the strings were coming from, off of the pegs that the ends of the string were supposed to loop around. And they went from, maybe I'll just do this. They went, maybe. So the strings went from, here we go. They went from here, which is quite low actually, from right about here. This is the level the strings were at. And they came out here directly over the fingerboard, through the nut, and onto the tuning pegs. The problem with that is that this, which is I guess what was being, this right here, which is what was being used for the bridge, is lower than the fingerboard. So there's absolutely nothing holding the strings above the frets or in line with the fingerboard so it could be played. As a result, as I kept getting into this thing, as a result, I noticed on the nut right here that the 2 side strings, since they had no support back here with a proper bridge, whenever someone would try to tune them, they just eventually just broke out from the sides to each side. This would be the first melody string here completely broke this out. Then the heavy bass string here broke this side out. So I'm going to have to, as part of the restoration of this, what I'm probably going to have to do is, I don't know, I'm going to have to figure out some way of rectifying the broken bridge. The broken nut here. And in case you did notice it earlier, when I turned this thing around, this thing has tension pegs, traditional tension pegs. And the way tension pegs work is they go in from one side, and then as you turn them, you push them into the opposite side, and then the friction that's generated, there's a taper on the end of the peg, which I'll show you in full later, but that taper is supposed to go into the receiving hole on the other side and allow you to tension it so that when you put tension on strings, it won't unwind the tuning peg, and so you can actually keep your instrument in tune. This one, and this one all do that very well. This one does not. It's been wallowed out very severely on the other side, so there's absolutely no tensioning to it. It will not grab. So if I try to put a string on here and put tension on it to tune it, it's just going to spin back out. It's not going to hold its tune. So I have a decision to make. I can either, remembering what I said about keeping the original parts with the 15-91 Singer sewing machine that I redid on another video elsewhere on the channel, I can either, which is perfectly acceptable, since this tuner is for the first melody string, I could very well simply string this as a 3-string dulcimer, have a single melody string, my bass octave here, and then the center string just be D, and then I'd have to reconfigure the nut anyway because that 3-string configuration would necessarily change things. I could do that, or I can fix the nut to hold the 4 strings again, which is weird because this is showing that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slots in the nut for a 4-string instrument. So I don't know what that's all about, but I could possibly, if I want to do a 3-string, I could probably do it here, turn this into a little bit more of a V notch, and then do it here. But what that's going to run me into is I'm going to have my melody D string and my deeper A string playing together almost constantly, and it would be very hard to fret the melody without also affecting the A string. So I'm going to have to put some thought into that. The other option is to buy a set of replacement mechanical tuners all the way around and string it up as a 4-string, which is the traditional way it's meant to be played. Fix the issue with the bridge, and then just have a 4-string dulcimer with new modern tuners, and see if that works. I actually have the tuners coming in. They'll be arriving soon, I think. And so I might get another set of strings, and I'll try it both ways. I'll try to set it up as just a 3-string, and if I don't like it or if it doesn't work, then I'll go with the 4-string setup with the new tuners. So I guess keep posted for that. The Zero Dork 30 part of this, the real nerdiness of this entire thing, was once I realized that I was going to need to actually fabricate a bridge for this instrument, I I had in my mind, now what am I going to use for wood? I know there's balsam wood and everything else, the kind of wood, balsa, whatever. That, yeah, balsa. That goes into like the old glider kits that we used to get as a kid. But they don't really make those anymore, and if they do, the pieces are way too thin to support the tension of the strings. So I was trying to think of what could I use to craft a bridge out of for this dulcimer. And I thought of all kinds of different things. I tried a few of the pieces of wood that I have laying around here, and I was like, you know what would be perfect for it is the base of a mouse trap. It's a perfect thickness. If it's got the branding on it still, I think I could probably make it look pretty cool as, something that's obviously used to be a mousetrap. I could shape it fairly easily. And I think as long as I'm careful with the shaping and everything else, it should stand up to pressure. So a couple of days later, I went to my friend's house just to hang out in his garage and see the kind of stuff that he's working on lately because he tools with all sorts of stuff. Um, and I mentioned that I was looking for like little scrap pieces of wood to do a bridge for this dulcimer with, and he said, "Sure, let me look around and see what I got." And he brought out a couple things, and I said, "You know what would be really awesome? Like even I said it joking, figuring that he didn't have any. It's like even I've even thought about using the base of a mouse trap uh, for the bridge." And as soon as I said that, he walked over to a shelf in his workspace and he picked up, no kidding, a mousetrap that had just been laying there forever. It had never even been used. It had been open, set on the shelf, and the little trigger. I know it has never been used because this little the tension arm that you set to spring the trap was still stapled to the base, so it had obviously never been used, never even been set. And so I have now. Let's get the branding here to make it official. I actually have, no kidding, actual mousetrap that I can shape into the bridge for this dulcimer. So, um, yeah, that's the latest from the workshop slash music or the workbench inside the music room. I did, for anybody that was paying attention to some of my other earlier videos, I did finish the more modern sewing machine that I was working on earlier. I got that finished late last night. It's still early this morning of the same dark cycle, I suppose. So a few hours ago, I got it done. Um, so that's all ready to be returned to the same friend. And I said, well, what am I going to do next? Because now I have all kinds of energy. It's the middle of the stinking night. And because my body does what my body does, I said, well, I better do something while I have the energy to do so and while my pain is relatively low before I get fatigued again. And so I said, well, okay, I'll just start uh, at least uh, going back to the drawing board and figuring out what I really need to do to make this into a viable instrument again. So here we are. That's the video. Um, Here's the strings I'm going to use, by the way. And I have to say this because this is what people on YouTube do. Absolutely nothing that I've mentioned, if I've mentioned particular brand names or shown any particular brand names like this or the mousetrap. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I have no sponsors. I will never have any sponsors. My channel is not monetized. Nobody's paying anything for any of this except for me. So there you have that. I am going to turn the camera off and I'm going to turn on uh, some peaceful music and I'm going to meditate on scripture from memory as I can. Or I might just play one of those nice little YouTube videos that has someone reading scripture while I start working on this very, very nerdy rebuild, refurbishing uh, of a well built originally. Just if they remembered the bridge at first, there would probably not be this many problems with it. But an otherwise well built Appalachian dulcimer that is as old as I am. So there you go. I'll see you sometime or other, maybe at the workbench, maybe somewhere else. But in the meantime, uh, just keep thinking, keep your eyes open, your mind engaged, and remember that whatever your hand finds to do, do as unto the Lord, because He's really the only one that. Well, I don't know what I was going to say because it is the weird hours and words are failing me. So I'm just going to shut up and do what I said I was going to do, and I'll see you later.